Hey, Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media, covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, a.k.a. Man of the People, coming to you live from Bank of America Stadium, where the Carolina Panthers have just defeated the Dallas Cowboys with the final score, Dallas 27, Carolina Panthers 30. Let me cue the sound effects up right here. Congratulations to Coach Dave Canales and team for, 2 in a row, something we have not done in quite a bit. So as always, have a pretty good show lined up for you guys. Got the team at work giving me photographs and feeding me information from Bryce Young and Dave Canales' press conference, as well as I heard Rico Dowdle goes up to the podium, which is understandable as he has had the best 2-game rushing total for a Carolina running back. So we're going to get through all of that. Hope you guys join me. I hope you guys appreciate the show. Like the fact that we're live on the field, only media doing so live on the field after the game, interacting with you. So with that, I hope that I can get your support and subscription as we're still trying to get to 15,000 subscribers. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like it if you already have, and consider joining. And you know the goal, each and every post game, 3 super chats, as we're independent media, 100% supported by your contributions. If you're able to do so, I greatly appreciate it. So a few quick shout outs. Let's go ahead and give a shout out to MH. I was going to try to guess what that is, but Dormelin, I can't say none of you guys' names, so I'm just gonna show it on the screen here for a second to give some love to everybody, and let me know how this audio sounds. It looks like it's a little bit high on the levels that I'm looking at, so you guys, be my teammates, let me know if it's a little too loud or not on the volume. But also, Dormelin, Martinez, Eric Blair, and then also we got Matu Lomax. So, hey, hope you guys are appreciating it. I told you this season we're going to continue to try to do stuff better and improve. And what that means this year is that we're going live even quicker, as quick as we can post-game to get you the latest news and updates regarding this Carolina Panthers matchup. And again, it's windy, it's rainy, but I think we're going to hold up and we'll be all right. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in, watching the show. Again, I'm Chris Jenkins, your host for the next 30, 45 minutes or so as we recap this football game. And what we're going to do is what we always like to do. We have the absolute best photographer in the business covering the Carolina Panthers for us, Patrick Snyder, feeding us photographs from the game. We tell the story, good, bad, or indifferent, however it ends up being. Today, it definitely seems like it was a good story to tell. So let's go ahead and get into these photographs from today. All right, and what better picture to start with than this one right here? Fitzpatrick with the field goal, successful to give the Carolina Panthers back-to-back wins at home, get to 500 for the first time. I don't know how long I haven't had a chance to do all the research for the stats, but nevertheless, a very happy field, very happy team, and Patrick Snyder captured that photograph right there. And more excitement. Hey, hit the like button if you're liking this. Subscribe if you have not had a chance to. And we got 1 super chat. We need 2 more. I don't care if it's $1. Each one of those helps us reach our goal, getting closer to being able to go to Green Bay and San Francisco. But here is Bryce Young and Brad Isaac, the offensive coordinator. Man, does he not look happy right there? That is great to see this team coming back, getting the victory. Told you guys I've been liking, and I do like head coach Dave Canales. Now, certainly there's some things to improve upon and be done, but I've always said, hey, he's a first-year coach, right? And a first-year coach, sure, he's going to have some lessons to learn, but I think he's going in the right direction. So we'll continue to work through some of these photographs here. Appreciate everybody for tuning in, checking us out. And, again, more excitement, right? We tell the story of what's happened, and there's a lot of excitement out there today. Bryce Young, all smiles after winning back-to-back games at home. Last week against the Dolphins, this week against the Dallas Cowboys. We're at 500, guys. That is awesome. I'm going to give a little round of applause again for that being at 500. Again, photos from the game. And obviously, we got some decisions to make, right? We got some decisions to make. This young man right here, Rico Dowdle, is playing some outstanding football. And I always like to give context and say, he's played against some poor, I won't even say poor, some of the not so top defenses against the run. But I say that to give a little perspective, as I always like to. I don't say that comment to take away a lot of what he's done, because I don't care how bad the other team is. It's still something that you got to give yourself credit for when you do what you're supposed to do against the opponent, right? That's why a lot of teams don't win. Like, hey, we're supposed to win that game. Hey, we were supposed to win this matchup, and we don't. So still a big old hat tip to Rico Dowdle for his back-to-back games with a great amount of success. And one thing that we've been noticing are these rookies, these young guys getting better and better for this Carolina Panthers team. And we were wondering, when was Tetairoa going to get his first touchdown? Well, he got it today. Not only getting his first touchdown, but he got 2 of them today. Good stuff by him. And here, my man Bryce Young, we're going to get into the stats here in just a bit, but Bryce Young, he did have a turnover today. He did have an INT. It was not at all his fault. And something I had been saying recently for this Carolina Panthers team is, hey, coach, help us out. You guys script the first, 10 plus plays for the game. Bryce seems like if we could just get him past the beginning of the game with struggles, then you could script that. You could help him out a little bit by not putting him in positions where even his decision-making would lead him to something that's really dangerous. So hats off to Bryce Young for that game today. I see we got one more super chat that has come in. Oh, we got our total of 3. You guys are awesome, 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 awesome. I appreciate it. We're going to keep if we get on a roll for more super chats, just appreciate it. I'm going to get to them once I'm able to get through all these photographs here from the game. And here you go with Pickens jumping over some of our players here. I don't know. I think this was at a point in the game where it's like, what is he doing trying to jump over this guy, right? But he tried it. He did it. And, they didn't win the game, but it's nevertheless an excellent shot. And this here, coming up next, is that one interception that Bryce threw. And this interception was courtesy of a tip ball that should have been caught. Didn't happen, but as again, I always say we captured the action. This interception was by Donovan Wilson here for the Dallas Cowboys. And then we always have some moments, right? You got to give a shout out to the Cardiac Cats for what they do, making the games entertaining. Whether in the past it's been being down by so much and then coming back and give you a chance to win like they did in Arizona, right? It was a field goal. It was a kickoff that was recovered. They're like, hey, we still have a chance. They didn't get it. Then it was last week just here against the Miami Dolphins where we're down by 17 points. They claw back. They win it. And here today, winning 30-27 over the Dallas Cowboys. But it was some moments. It was some moments in that game where you go to say, oh, my goodness, what's going on? And here's one of those moments, which was Xavier Legette with the toss back lateral, which Coach Canales later said, Xavier said my bad, and he said, hey guys, let's not try to do too much out there. But Xavier Legette tossing it back to Rico Dowdle. Rico catches it and then goes to run. Nice peanut punch by the opposing team, and then it's fumbled again and ultimately recovered by Xavier Legette. So cool stuff. Nice picture captured. And this one's funny right here, guys. This one, I went to get out my binoculars because I'm like, what on earth is happening? Like, a player's hurt, and then I see that it's just part of the celebration there, the sleeping after the touchdown. So that's good stuff there. And continue to move along. Let's see again, guys. We got 3 super chats. If we could get, I don't know, just a few more, that would be great to help us continue to do what we do. There is nobody out there like us that is doing what we're doing, which is right now. Rain is coming very hard from my left to right, and I'm not moving. I'm not flinching. I'm going to make sure I continue to bring you this coverage and do what we do. I thought it was going to Let's look at the clouds. I don't know if anybody does. Anybody know if it's going to just do this for 2 minutes or if it's going to do this for 20 minutes? Because it's critical. I don't have a team to help me get all this stuff in, but nevertheless, let's continue to work through these photographs. Here we got Panthers defense swarming pretty good as they were able to get the Cowboys to, I forget the exact total I'm going to show here in just a second. Dallas Cowboys were held to, I forget, I'm going to show you guys here in just a second, but under 40 yards rushing, I want to say that I feel good about for the Dallas Cowboys defense. I'm sorry, Dallas Cowboys offense stopped by the Carolina Panthers defense. And here we go, Tetairoa McMillan. This, I believe, is after his first touchdown scored. Yep, that is his first touchdown scored. Again, outstanding job by my guy Patrick Snyder capturing the action. And there was a lot of good action today. I'm sure he was happy to be taking his photographs on the field today. And our guy, Jimmy Horn Jr. Check out Jimmy Horn. He has been getting some increased playing time, and things are panning out well for him and doing so with carrying the ball as well as receiving the ball. Good stuff there by Jimmy Horn Jr. We're going to see what continues to happen. So obviously, Jalen Coker was not activated today. That led the opportunity for Jimmy Horn Jr. to be out there. I'm kind of interested in seeing what happens, right? Jalen could be back any day now. Hunter Renfrow is a guy that I liked a lot. I really liked his play during training camp and preseason. Hasn't done much at all during the regular season. So I don't know if coach might be willing to take a veteran out like Hunter Renfrow and put Jimmy Horn Jr. in there. But certainly you're going to have to balance some things once Coker comes back. Which wide receiver you're going to take out, that will be determined here shortly. Again, I got 3 super chats. I'll always like to give you guys some kudos and shouts for doing so. And right now, I don't see any more coming in, but I'm going to get to those in just a second to make sure I cover them for you. Got a few more photographs that I want to show for you guys. This one was criticized a lot here, and here's another awesome photograph. Doesn't get any clearer than that to see what happened. Is he touching his helmet? Absolutely. Dak Prescott helmet is being touched by Roseboom, but it was just like incidental contact, as much as incidental contact could be, right? Nevertheless, Dak plays for America's team. He is the quarterback, and he got the call, and they got 15 yards, I think, ultimately scoring on that possession. But nevertheless, wasn't enough for Dallas to win this game out. And here you see Rico Dowdle, again, having a career day with over 30 carries. I forget the final total. We're going to show the stats here in just a second. But there's Rico with that tongue out. Well, not really that tongue out. Probably just a little bit tired running from these past 2 games. I would imagine that Rico Dowdle will get some vet days, right? Chuba's got one in the past. Actually, Rico has gotten one in the past. But after 2 weeks of last week over 200 yards, this week nearing 200 yards, I think they're going to go ahead and give him a little rest day to make sure that when they travel up to New York, who lost today, I think they are 1-4, the New York Jets. We travel up there next week to cover them and report on the Carolina Panthers playing them as well. So, by the way, I don't have the graphic for it. Super chats are coming in, which is appreciated, but also Cash App is something that's available to you guys if you're able to do so, if you want to do so. Again, I know everybody's not in that position to do so, but our Cash App is CVIBE, C-V-I-B-E. In case you're able to just whip out the phone and want to send us $1, I continue to say just $1 from each person would allow us to increase our coverage even more and do what we do here by traveling to Green Bay as well as San Francisco. So, continue to work through these photographs. We've got a few more. We got Rico celebrating the touchdown. T-Mac and company in the background, Xavier, Mitchell Evans. Great stuff from T-Mac. I absolutely think at this point that Coach Dave Canales is going to have to make some decisions and change how he does the Rico and Chuba thing, right? I don't feel like you're going to at this point say, oh, Chuba, you're automatically number 2 guy. Just sit back there. But I think you should be certainly much more intentional about maybe starting Chuba and then saying, okay, if Rico's in there and he gets hot, let him stay out there a little bit longer than normal as far as what you have been doing earlier in the season and see how that goes and where that goes. And last but not least, our last photo of the day, T-Mac with a nice catch there. One hand, I'm assuming that was probably a one-handed catch. This guy loves to catch the ball with one hand. But Tetairoa with a very, very good game today. So those are all of our photographs. Again, let's give a round of applause for our photographer, Patrick Snyder, and bringing those photographs to us from today. And now I think we're going to try to go to some of the press conference stuff. Give me just a moment. Yeah, we are going to go to some of the press conference highlights, and we're going to start with head coach Dave Canales. So just give me a moment to make sure I do this correctly, and I will bring this up as I try not to fly away in the wind here. I'm lightweight, but I guess I'm not that lightweight, right? Give me just a second. Let's see here. All right, one moment, guys, as I got to throw in one of my extra earpieces here to make this do what it does, so I can make sure I can hear. There we go, I can hear. So we're going to go to Dave Canales' opening remarks here in just one moment. All right, here we go. Dave Canales' opening comments from his press conference. We're going to share some of those. Actually, before I do that, let's go to these Super Chats, because the Super Chats are what help us stay on the air, literally, with your support and contributions. So let's get some of these Super Chats out there. I asked for 3. I'm up to 4. Let's get one more, make it an even 5. Kevin Falkery says nothing. He just gives us a Super Chat. So, Kevin, thank you very much for that support. Appreciate it. We need it. We need it. I thank you for it. And then awesome revenge game for Uncle Rico. Yeah, I can't wait to, again, we're going to be showing some of his comments. They had him up at the podium today as well. So we're going to be showing some of Rico's comments from his game today. Outstanding game. Like, you know, 2 back-to-back games where you're getting near 200 yards. One game you got over 200 today. We're going to bring up the numbers here in just a second. Right at it. Thank you for that Super Chat, CG. We need it and appreciate you. And then even more specials when I have a member that's already paying, and then I have a Super Chat from that member. So we've got Tyler Haley saying, big win. This is what we've expected from this group. Big defensive win. So, yeah, even though we were playing the Dallas Cowboys, even though we have a lot of people out, we didn't have Jalen Coker returning, even though it was looking hopeful for him. We had Jatavian Sanders out. We had Taylor Moton out. You're thinking, man, what could be going on here? Could this be it? But I felt like it was going to be something where we could potentially have some progress and get the victory that we had today. So right now, I feel like the identity that this team is going to be, the coach that Dave Canales is going to be, this is it, in my opinion, right? You got 2 games back-to-back. You're at 500. This is now, in my opinion, where you're going to see Dave Canales, who he is, the team beginning to form, who he wants it to be. And hopefully, quite possibly, this team started to be a team that could sustain some kind of decent, respectable performance week to week. That would be awesome. But thank you, Tyler, for that comment very much. And then last but not least, currently with the Super Chats, we got Ali Bodrick. Welcome back, Chris. This was a hard-earned win. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. You couldn't have asked for much better from the team, from a coaching perspective, from a player perspective, turnover perspective. They knew that the Dallas Cowboys were a team that has an explosive offense, and the tail end of that, they played it properly to say, hey, let's not give them a chance to get the ball back so that we can continue to have the opportunity to kick the game-winning field goal and win this game at the very end. And they did so. So Ali Bodrick, thank you so much for your Super Chat. All right, now we're going to head for these press conference from Dave Canales, play his opening remarks.
So proud of this group that just continues to fight and scratch and claw and just get it done. And at the end of the day, it's what do you do with the last possession? The defense, gave up some yards, and Dak Prescott, George Pickens had a great day. Got to give the Cowboys a lot of credit for the offense that they produced today. But the defense came through for us when we needed it, and to get us the ball back, give us another chance to get down there, get into field goal range.
So those were some of the comments from Dave on of the game overall, right? Everybody had to play for this wind is out here crazy. Throwing me off a little bit, but nevertheless, I got my guy Patrick helping me hold down the equipment so nothing blows over. So give me a second before I cue up this next bit from Coach, because the timestamps on this isn't exact as I thought it was going to be. But we're going to try to get this to where we want it to be. Next clip I'm going to play for you guys will be about, and the wind certainly stops as if it was not blowing. That means a big gust is about to come. Doesn't want you to get too settled. But here's also another comment from Dave on Rico Dowdle. And again, we're going to show the stats from Rico here in just a second. All right, so here's
just looked like the same guy last week.
Oh,
Ran
Rico.
with violence, had a plan, a man on a mission that wants to make yards and really just take our schemes and make them come alive. And he'd be up here. First thing he would say is give credit to the offensive line, the tight ends for blocking, the wide receivers involved in all that to create another successful day on the ground. But I'm sure he's human. I'm sure there's emotions for him coming from his former team and all that. So I will acknowledge that part of it. But I didn't see a difference from what he did last week. I just saw great execution and great attitude when he ran the ball.
So there you have Coach on Rico Dowdle and his performance, and he wanted to give some credit to the offensive line, and certainly there were some holes, but you gotta certainly say that Rico runs well. He runs aggressive. He runs through the first arm tackle that's out there, and he's explosive, right? So he sees some daylight, and when he sees that daylight, he just shoots right through it and gets some good yards on that. So Rico certainly, again, in my opinion, playing this game where you have to say, I don't believe, because you just gave Chuba that big contract last year. I remember being out there in Germany when they did so, and congratulating Chuba on that. So I don't think that you're going to give the guy the raise that you gave him last year, and he's hurt, right? He's dealing with that calf injury, and take him out right away. But I feel like you're certainly at this point going to say, keep giving Chuba the start, right? But with your rotation, maybe just be very open to the fact that if Rico comes out there and he's playing anything like he has these past 2 weeks, give him an extra series. Let him stay out there that entire time instead of bringing him right out and then having Chuba be the one that comes in there. So let me now go ahead and play. I'm going to try to get to this clip. Coach talked about the fact that this team is now at 500, something that, again, I don't have the exact stats the last time this team was at 500, but I believe you want to go back to 2021 with Coach Rule at the helm. And I really believe that what broke us from that streak was when we played the Dallas Cowboys that we just played here today, but it was a game that we played the Cowboys down in Texas, right? But let me go ahead and get this clip up for the coach talking about getting to 500 as his first time at head coach as well. All right, let me see if I can get this for you guys. Give me just a second to work this in here. And bear with me. Around the 5-minute mark, so let's go to 6:20.
I don't want to use those timeouts in that situation, but for me, it felt like I needed to settle the group in. Let's get our best call, and then we ended up executing it. I'm sorry. So good.
All right, give me just a second. Trying to skip to this point.
The next play, high confidence player who knows he's going to make that play. The catch was a little bit landmark work. Those find space here, and that's the type of chemistry. Find space. Absolutely. I mean, it's a great point when how we adjust on things, and that really showed up on 2 plays.
1 second. I know you guys are hearing the other audio in the background. The timestamps, they threw them off from my reporter getting it to me, so I'm trying to quickly get to it. But what I'm going to be getting to is the Panthers being at 500 for the first time since week 10 4 years ago. So bear with me, but I think we're going to have it right here coming for you guys.
Plays that we've been working on that those guys have been talking about. If they play this, I want you to respond this way. If they play this one, find a screen to Leggett that we have. The run game gets going, it creates space in the back half, and we didn't hit all of them, but we had some good production down the field. We had some good production on our check downs as well. Even the screen to Leggett that we had, it presents itself like a deep shot in that situation when you get past the 50, and he was able to bite out a big chunk of yards for us right there.
Here we go. This is the point where he talks about being at 500 for the first time.
It's a group commitment to the process and the way that we practice, the way that we study, the way that we talk to each other, and the type of effort that we ask for in our practices. It leads to good results, and there's got to be a trust in this process that it will lead to good things. If you just show up and give us everything you have when you're in this building, when you walk in these doors, it leads to improvement. That's what we're looking for, progress. We're looking for improvement in all areas, and we're seeing that. We're seeing groups work together to be able to come away with the full team win right there was really amazing, and it allows me to just double down on the fact that this process works. If we stay together, we continue to just bravely and courageously look at the mistakes that we've made and correct them. This is a group that's just continuing to get better.
All right, so there you have Dave Canales on talking about this team and the process working, and I agree, right? So he's just been like, hey, this is a process. It's the way I am, and I haven't had players talk about it as much this year as I did last year when I was asking them about Coach Canales and what they said last year, and I'm pretty sure the same thing holds true for this year, which is regarding those guys just trusting the process, believing in your coach, him being steady Eddie, whether they're winning by a lot, whether they're losing by a lot, whether they're coming back. He just tries to be the same guy. And players have spoken about how much confidence in your head coach that gives you because of a guy being like that no matter what's going on. So in terms of the process working, yes, it is working, and that's a good thing. And I'm happy for it, right? We're not back to the 2015 season, but as a report, I know a lot of fans get upset about what's going on and say how hard this is to watch. It's challenging here in the media as well, being here so much. Locker rooms, practice, traveling, all this stuff, and the team struggle the way that they have been. This right here is a very, very promising mark, and this wind is picking up. So I'm going to make sure that none of my equipment flies away as we deal with these conditions. But next, we're going to go to Rico, who was able to speak with the media today about his performance, and then we're going to go over some stats as well. So give me just a moment to cue this up for Rico. All right, here's some Rico Dowdle.
Got to give all the credit to those guys up front again. They came out there again week to week, allowed for me to go out there and do what I do. Give credit to them. Definitely, like I've been saying all week, the main thing, just wanted to get that win. Big for me, but also big for the organization. Getting to 500 and protecting the home field, 3-0 at home. So we just got to continue to keep building.
All right, so there was Rico on his performance today, and some other things that I want to get to. It's just going to be just here a second here. I want to get to Rico talking about on Chuba. So give me just a moment. I'll be able to get to this Rico, and then we got to have Bryce, and then we'll go through some more of the stats. But again, keep those super chats. We're up to 5. I got 5. I appreciate it. Want to play Rico on Chuba. So that's going to be about here. Give me just a second.
I talked to a lot of guys coming off the field.
Give me just a second. I know you guys can hear it. I want you to see it as well.
Like I said, that's the coach's decision. I'm pretty sure we'll figure out a way to do it. 2 is better than 1, so it's gonna be hard on the defense. I'm saying this to all the quarters, and I definitely want to pop up.
I like that there at the end. He said, when Chuba comes out, comes back, it's not his responsibility. It's what the coaches decide. 2 is better than 1. I agree 2 is better than 1. But I like what he said there at the end is he definitely will not worry about cramping up because he'll be able to split some of those carries with Chuba. So that's true. You won't cramp up because you won't have as many carries. A good way to look at it. And I think overall, any player certainly wants the individual accomplishments, right? And they like the individual success that they can achieve. But nothing is better than your team winning, right? So if your team wasn't winning, you'd have this breakout. You might have this individual performance that's nice and great, but it doesn't mean much. But if you're winning, if you're in a position to make it someplace, yeah, you might want some more carries, but the bottom line is you want your team to win, and that's what this Carolina Panthers team is now starting to do, and you gotta applaud that. So we're going to go to one more before we get into the stats. That will be that of Mr. Bryce Young and his comments with the media. Give me just a moment. We'll get this Bryce Young comment up for you guys, and then we'll get into some stats, and there are some good ones from today. All right, so here we go. This is going to be Bryce Young on this team being 500.
Yeah, I mean, it's great from where we are. It's a great win today. Obviously, it's a long season. It's a week-to-week league right now. We're excited. We're enjoying this win, but next week we're going to turn the page, and it's for us. We have to figure out to be consistent. We have to put them together. We have to continue to stack. And right now, for 24 hours, we're going to enjoy it, but we're going to come back. We already talked about in the locker room. Everyone's dedicated to moving forward, so that's all it is. We're going to want to know next week.
So that was Bryce talking about getting to 500 is great, but it's week to week, and I think that's something, that language there is something that he's learned and picked up from Coach Canales as he wants his team to think, we're 0-0 trying to get to 1-0 this week. But Bryce, of course, had to speak about his running back, Rico Dowdle.
That's a great description. Violent, someone who's super explosive, really patient, and then when he decides to put his foot in the ground and go, he has bad intentions. When you get to watch that, I always say I get to watch that on film live. It's so much fun being able to turn around and watch to see all the great stuff that our backs do. So we're glad he's with us.
So that's a little funny to me, and I had an interview with Brady Christensen this week, and I talked to him about, hey, it's kind of funny when guys are calmly and speaking about violence, right? They're not aggressive. So, Bryce Young there, as he mentioned, it's cool to see how violent he is and the way he runs and punishes people. So, which is an irony for me, right? Or the contrast in how they sound and what they're talking about. But nevertheless, Bryce on his guy, Rico Dowdle. But Bryce has also persevered a lot, right? He got benched last year and came back and did pretty well. He started out this year and has certainly had his struggles, but his team is certainly responding. He's responding as well and improving, and I think there's a little hat tip to Dave Canales for altering the game plan a little bit now, albeit, things have changed a little bit where they're able to play games, and I think this might be something that Coach Canales says, when we're able to play our game the way that we want to, lean on the running game the way that we need to, it takes some of the pressure off the offense. It takes some of the pressure off what Bryce Young has to do and allows him to continue to grow. He's still young, and also allows his receiving core to continue to grow, not put too much pressure on those guys that you got to do something spectacular for this team to compete. And that's what we're able to see recently with games where they're able to keep the games within close proximity to the score-wise and have an opportunity to win. But here's Bryce Young on his growth and development as a player. And I think we're up to, 5 Super Chats, which I appreciate. Hadn't got any Cash App donations, but again, if you're able to do so, you want to do so. That is C-Vibe, and able to do something like that. I knew that equipment may start to take a fall over, but I caught it there. Let me get now to this Bryce Young clip. Just a moment. All right, here's Bryce Young on his development.
Yeah, it's a blessing for sure. Regardless of anything, I've always been so proud of this team, of how we work, just how we've carried ourselves through the week. And I think now it's just more encouragement. We have to make sure that we continue to keep building, continue to keep pushing ourselves during the week. We know that it works. We know what the coaches are having us do, and the process is what we need to be doing. And it's just continue to trust each other, push each other, and we're excited for it.
So there's Bryce on the fruits of his labor working out and being a good thing. So it's great to see. It's great to see. Keep encouraging, keep building, and they will continue to be all right, just stacking days one on top of each other. Big shouts out to Ashley Stroline, who right now is battling with her umbrella, but also has fed me all of the details. Look, she might go. There she goes. She's flying by. She's holding down Twitter during the game, and also these clips that I'm playing for you right now from Bryce, Rico, and head coach Dave Canales was courtesy of Ashley helping us out. So like I said, a lot of times you only see myself, but there's a team of behind the scenes that are continuing to help us do a better job of getting you guys awesome content immediately after the game. Photographs, video, locker room, my analysis, and more. So thank you so much to the team for helping me do so and bringing this content to you guys. And I hope you guys enjoy it again. Continue to support in any way you can. Subscribe at the least, right? Help us get to 15,000 subscribers. The more I grow, the more I can do with player interviews, coaches, and things like that. So please continue to support us and watch what we can do. So thank you. Continue to move on. Let's a few things outside of the locker room that I want to share with you guys would be, let's see here. Okay. So didn't get much out of the locker room, as again those guys were able to come up to the podium, and I've shared that information with you. But got a report that T-Mac's grandfather gets the game ball from T-Mac from his first career NFL score on his birthday. So again, that is from Sheena Quick. That only fitting that T-Mac's grandfather gets the ball from his first NFL score. What a birthday gift. So that is pretty awesome to see and report to you guys. All right, so let's go to some stats from this game today, a game in which we won. And you know what, let's also touch on scores, all right, and the standings for the current NFC South. So let me go ahead and get this up. I won't be able to show it to you on the screen, but I'll go ahead and verbally tell you. Let's first look at the standings for the NFC South. As of 5:21 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Tampa Bay Buccaneers continue to be at the top with a record of 4-1. And your Carolina Panthers. Let me cue the sound effects here for this Carolina Panthers team. Yay. So that is the Carolina Panthers. Now are 3-3, are at 500, and they're in second place, ladies and gentlemen. The Carolina Panthers are in second place in the NFC South. Good story for the NFL and Baker Mayfield, as he's having an exceptional year. But darn it, the heck for us Carolina Panther fans here in the NFC South, as he's leading the Tampa Bay Bucks to a 4-1 record. But we're at 3-3. Atlanta is behind us at 2-2, and the New Orleans Saints are in last at 1-5. Current scores, again, Carolina Panthers win 30-27. Right now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are playing the San Francisco 49ers. That was a 4 o'clock game. Current score in that game, 49ers 10, Tampa Bay 7. And let's see one other score. New England Patriots continue some dominance over the NFC South. New England Patriots win today in New Orleans, 25 New England Patriots, 19 the Saints. So I think that's everybody, right? Saints. Let's see what the Falcons play today. Falcons play Monday night against the Buffalo Bills in Atlanta. So I will not have a score update for you on that one. But so far, only the Carolina Panthers have won today. Of course, Tampa Bay is playing currently against San Francisco. And then the Atlanta Falcons will play Monday night against the Atlanta Falcons. So, I'm sorry, the Atlanta Falcons will play Monday night against the Buffalo Bills. I don't think I said that correctly the first time. Let's go ahead and look at some stats from today's game. Let's start out with my guy, Bryce Young, who finished the day 17 of 25. Did not have to throw the ball 50 times, 40 times, not even 30 times, right? Bryce, 17 of 25 for 199 yards. And I'm going to just kill this applause button today. But Bryce getting his yards per pass up. He's now today averaged 8 yards per pass. Pretty good stuff there by Bryce in that regard. 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, and that 1 interception being one that really was not his fault as the ball was tipped in the air. Passer rating, 114. So I give credit to Bryce because he's the one back there throwing the ball. But also give credit to Dave Canales for the whole team, right? But getting Bryce in that position where he can just, I said this early in the show, but he can just kind of progress into being the quarterback that he is, not having to take those risks and managing the game well and getting the ball to T-Mac. Speaking of getting the ball to T-Mac, look at here. T-Mac had his lowest production of the season in terms of yards, but I think he'll take, number one, a W any day, and he'll take 2 touchdowns any day over saying, hey, give me 70 yards, give me 80 yards. No, give me a victory and 2 touchdowns. Great job there by Tetairoa, and Rico Dowdle also getting in there on the receiving part. I got to look, but I'm going to guess. I know Rico had over 200 total yards of offense today. If he had, I think it was about 170 rushing and then the 56 receiving. Tight end Tommy Tremble, 39 yards. Wide receiver Jimmy Horn Jr. with 2 for 36, including a 34-yard. So good balanced stuff. Xavier Legette still playing better. Now, yes, he had that dubious play there, but 2 targets, 2 catches for Xavier Legette. Now let's go to the rushing, all right? And we also got another super chat in here. So let's go ahead and make sure we show love to the people that's helping us out to continue to operate, because it costs more than we have right now. We are independent media, 100% supported by you guys. Literally, there's no automobile company or a law firm writing us a big check to make things happen. It's 100% you guys that are helping us do what we do, staying on the air, travel to games, and do this coverage. So I always will have to sincerely say thank you whenever people are able to do so. R.L. Britt, when I hit the lottery, I'll send you 50 grand. Chris, keep pounding. That would be amazing. That would be helpful. That would be appreciated. You will become the sponsor of Charlotte Vibe if that's able to happen. And thank you so much, R.L. Britt, for that. I'm sure you mean it, and I mean it too. Also, Darrell, again, love it when our members are able to also contribute in addition to their monthly. We certainly found our identity. Love it. Yeah. I can't say this is it for sure. Like now we're on to New York, right? And the Jets, they're not any team that's bad always wants to get a victory, and they're not like 1-10 yet, where you can say, okay, they're now just checking it in, right? They're 1-5, so it's still the first half of the season. You still have some guys that could get, like, damn it, let's get this, let's figure this out. I think the New York Jets game could be tough. I don't think that we're going to lose it, but I think it could be tough, right? Just because of the fact that any given Sunday, and you go up to New York, and it's going to be a test, right? It's going to be a test for Dave Canales. And now, how do you manage a team that is having a running back that is becoming a bell cow, that is just outstanding? How do you balance that between Rico and Chuba? How do you balance all these young guys not only getting their first win, they got back-to-back wins. And when I say first win, I should say a win, and now you're getting back-to-back wins. And now you go up to New York. You're going to have some personalities, and not to say that these guys are cocky, but you're just going to have to maintain that and keep it going. I think it can be done, but it's certainly something that you're going to be more aware of right now for this team. But let's go ahead as the wind picks up, and you might see me grabbing my equipment so it doesn't blow over. Let's go to this rushing performance. Rico Dowdle, 30 carries. And yes, he had cramps again today, but 30 carries, 183 yards. Look at that average, 6.1. No touchdowns, but I think he does not care about not having a touchdown on a day that you get 183 yards. So what is that? So he did have about 230 yards today total, which is some great stuff. Bryce Young, 3 rushes. Trevor Etienne. Trevor said, hey, the next time that happens, I can't say that I'm going to risk not getting my first NFL touchdown by sitting on the play and not scoring. So, but hats off to him. And, you know, Coach talked about it. They practice these situations about, I forget exactly what they call it, first down, sit down. I think might be what Coach Canales referred to it as. But basically saying, hey, once you get that first down, sit your butt down. Don't score that touchdown. And I think sometimes that gets a little overplayed about doing that, not scoring. But certainly when you're playing the Dallas Cowboys, who has the number 1 offense in the NFL, you're playing the Dallas Cowboys who have the most points scored. I forget exactly, but I think it's the last 2 minutes in the first half and the end of the game that leads the league in scoring at the end. You do not want to give them the ball back at all. So Trevor sitting down at that point did allow the team to run the clock down to, I forget how many seconds, but let's say 3 seconds. But I know it was basically after Ryan makes the kick, there's no time on the clock. And that's what you needed to do. They got the perfect scenario set up to do that, and we're able to win. So hat tip to Trevor. But I like the way he says, hey, you guys may have to run on the field and tackle me the next time if that happens, because he wants to score. But let's go over to the defensive side. We still did not get any sacks today, but we were able to do something which I'm going to highlight here again in just a second about what we did do in lieu of those sacks. Christian Roseboom and Trevor Wallace, our inside linebackers, leading the tackles today with 6 apiece. And Trevin Moreg coming there getting some good stops as well, quite a few stops. Shal Smith-Wade in his return from his injury with 3 tackles. Derek Brown had a tackle today that just made you say, oof, man, that was tough. But here's what I want to point out, and I don't normally show this much of the other team, but I'm going to show this stat from the other team in their rushing. Javonte Williams, 13 carries for 29 yards. Look at this average, folks. 2.2 yard average. That is outstanding by this Carolina Panthers defense. Jaden, 0 yards. Dak with negative yards. Ryan with 3. This team averaged 1.6 yards per carry. That kind of average meant that you knew that this Carolina Panthers team had this team on lock for rushing the ball, and it was going to come down to defense and stopping Dak, or at least containing him, being able to tighten things up when necessary. And actually, for this game today, the Carolina Panthers, it was a pretty good game, right? They may have been able to hold Dallas to fewer points than they did today, because it was on several of the Cowboys scoring drives, they were dead in the water. They were like 3rd and long, didn't make it, but then the Carolina Panthers had a penalty, which allowed them to get the first down, gave them more opportunities. And, of course, you got Dak that's been pretty solid at quarterback. He's been pretty good, actually, at quarterbacking so far this season, that you continue to give him opportunities. And, yeah, he'll continue to move his team down the field and put points on the board. So I do want to point that out, that on all but one of the Cowboys scoring drives, it was penalties by the Carolina Panthers that at some point during that drive helped them extend the play and score a touchdown. So that's going to be all that I have for today. I want to take a moment and try to get to some of the questions and just double check my notes here to make sure there was not anything else that I did not want to touch on before I get out of here and get into answering your questions. But that is what I do, go live 100% for the purpose of interacting with you guys. Again, there's not going to be anybody else out there on YouTube that's definitely a part of official media that can go live immediately after the game, bring you photographs, bring you videos, bring you stats, and also interact with you asking questions in Charlotte Vibe. So I hope that that will earn your subscription. If you haven't subscribed, help us get to 15,000. Lots of good super chats this week. Appreciate that. That's going to continue to help us stay on air and do what we do. Check, check, check. All right, so I just had to switch. Let me try to clean this off just a little bit here. All right, so the battery died on me, but I'm still going to do what I do and try to get through a few questions before I get out of here and see what we got. Darrell, you're right, Chance. Pass rush is definitely missed on our defense. It's crazy. We got the run game on lock, it seems. So, yeah, the run game. So, if you guys notice, I might go to look up here a few times because that's the camera I normally talk on. But since things went out, I'm going to be right here. But, yeah, you know, things to improve upon on. But what NFL team does not have things to improve upon? But it's certainly something to get excited about to say, hey, once we get this fixed, we'll continue to be even better, right? I think for this Carolina Panthers team, if we can continue to just not turn the ball over early, that's the one thing, right? If we just want to keep it really, really simple, let's continue to script plays and be in a position where we're not turning the ball over early, where we're not getting down 10-0 super early in the first quarter, and we can do a mixture of relying on our run game, throw some Tetairoa McMillan in there and other guys as well as they continue to develop, then we have a chance to do what everybody has been wanting this team to do, which is just be competitive, be in a position to win the game, be entertaining. Thanks very much for that comment, Darrell. Vincent Trichet, I don't know if I said that right. Do you think we will beat the Jets next weekend, Chris? So I feel confident that we will beat the New York Jets, but I feel confident that it's not going to be a cakewalk. So for me, my concern is not that it's a trap game kind of thing at all. My concern is the fact that this team has not won back-to-back games in forever. And a lot of the success from the defensive side and the players that we have now are younger players. And you got 2 victories in a row. I just feel like the number one task for us to win this week coming up against the Jets, like, can we win, like, flat out on paper? Heck yeah. Heck yeah. We should beat the New York Jets. But it's going to be dependent on Coach Canales making sure that he reaches these guys, continues to have them focused and say, guys, we're 0-0. New York doesn't owe us anything. What we did against the Dolphins and against the Cowboys does not carry, even against the Falcons, it does not carry over and give us any head start against the New York Jets. We have to play this game. I think he's a coach that will have that message. Again, I've talked about his temperament being even kill. So I feel like that'll be there, and I feel like it's a very good chance to get that victory against the New York Jets. Chance Hines, Rico, unbelievable day again. Keep pounding. Absolutely, man. I can't agree with you more. Jer Brown, keep pounding. Hey, Chris, I think we found our identity running the ball with Rico. Let me know. I'm going to end on this. I'm going to try to get to a few more of the comments from our members, because that's one of the perks. If you are a member, I will always make sure that I hit your comments before I get off the broadcast. But what do you guys think should be the move going forward with Rico and Chuba? What do you see that looking like? Let me know. Have some spam coming in there. Spam is always a good thing. That means we are growing. Just trying to make sure I get to all of my members before I get out of here. Oh, we had a lot of spam today. All right, we got Alpha and Omega. Dowdle should start from now on. Pay, extend the man. Wow, you feel like, again, I keep going to look at the main camera, which went out, so I'm on my secondary camera right here. But, okay, so I've asked for you guys' comments on that. Alpha and Omega had already left. Jets are 0-6, Coker and Chuba. Are the Jets 0-6? Did I misspeak about the Jets? Oh yes, so I did misspeak. I thought the Jets had won one game. The Jets are 0-6. Man, I still feel right, and what I said earlier. I wouldn't change anything about what I said. That it's the coach that just has to make sure these guys have the right temperament throughout the week as they prepare for the New York Jets. I wouldn't be mad if I got one more super chat before I got out of here, by the way. And then what's going on to Panthers Bora? Said, what's up, man, the people, keep pounding. Yes, that is what we will do, sweet Caroline. So again, I asked the question. I'll give you guys another moment to respond on that. What do you think should be the future for Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard? How do you see that working? But right before I go into that, I will say this. Make sure you join us tomorrow for our day after show. Happens every day after the game. The show is 100% dedicated to answering your questions, whether that's venting, whether that's being excited, whether that's asking me your questions that you may have about this game of football. I'm here for you. I'd like to say that you have a friend in the media, which is myself, Chris Jenkins, aka Man of the People. By the way, I was late getting up to interview the one-on-one interview with lineman Brady Christensen. I will absolutely have that up by tomorrow. So make sure you look out for that. All right, let's see what comments we got about the Rico and Chuba situation here. More spam, okay. RL Britt, how do I become a member? I should be in there by now. So there's a link in the description to become a member, and you click on that link. There's other ways to do it. I can't think of how to tell you that, RL, off the top of my head, but there's a link that's in the description on YouTube of this video. So just make sure you hit that more button in the comments. You'll be able to see the full description, and there's a link there to become a member. I certainly would appreciate it if you could do so. And anybody else, if you ever have any problems when you're trying to support me, whether that's a Cash App, a donation, a membership, I am extremely easy to reach through direct message on Twitter, Instagram, comments here on YouTube, email, any kind of way that you want to try to reach out to me, I will get and make sure that I respond to you. That's what hopefully that works for you. If it doesn't, let me know. My lady Ant for life, I wonder why JC isn't putting on their #1 weapon. Glad we got Tetairoa, his first 2 TDs. Disgusted with Bryce Young's turnover. Amp, don't be disgusted with his turnover. The ball was tipped in the air and then caught by the other guy. It wasn't Bryce fumbling the ball. It wasn't Bryce throwing it dead to another guy. It was a tip ball, but you're hard on the guy. JC doesn't travel, so that's the big reason why you don't see JC Horn just sticking with the guys anymore. He doesn't travel across the field back and forth. to everybody else's top guys. So that's going to be it for today's show. I appreciate you guys very much. Thank you for the support. Thank you for whether you're able to do a super chat, whether you're just viewing the channel. Every bit of it helps us continue to grow and do what we do. I appreciate sincerely. If ever you see me out and about, please stop and say hello. Chris Jenkins reporting live from Bank of America Stadium for Charlotte Valley.